And we are live. Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Please, if you are if you are watching this live, do me a big favor and start by sharing because today we have got a special one. We've got a special episode. I've been looking forward to this for a while. So please do me a favor and make sure that you share this live. If you can see it, share it. And we are going to start, and we are going to have my special guest today. Today, we are going to be talking about succeeding against all odds. Let me just quickly share the live. Make sure that it is shared, and also please share if you're watching. And as I said, today's topic is going to be about succeeding against all odds. And my guest today is she embodies what it means to succeed against all odds, against everything that you may go through, against or everything that they can say that you could be told that you won't be able to achieve. But first, let me say welcome to the Power Hour. My name is Miriam K, and I am your host. So the Power Hour is a show where I bring in people to just talk, to inspire, to empower people, to empower the audience and inspire them. So that is what it is about. In case you're watching it the first time and you don't really know what this is about. So, yeah. And if you notice today, I'm wearing purple. Number one, purple is my guest's actually favorite color. And purple is also, funnily enough, one of my dearest friend's favorite color who passed away. And the theme of her funeral, which is tomorrow, is purple. I'm not going to be there, sadly, but I wanted to honor her in my own little way, as well as my guest as well. So that's why I'm wearing purple today. So thank you for joining. If you're watching this, thank you very much. You are welcome. Please share, and we are going to get our guest. But before we do, let me just introduce my guest to you. My guest today is a true inspiration. She has managed to succeed against all odds. She has battled with several health difficulties since birth. Yet, although she was told by doctors she would not be able to walk, she would not be able to speak, she would not be able to even live past childhood. Yet she has fought. She was so determined and she has fought against and beat the odds. She went from all of that, right, to achieving a first class degree in business management. First class degree, honors, it's not a joke. In business, she's worked as a HR manager, and now she has launched her own business, which is called Esther Emends. And this is academic support services to help people in university, in school, that are going through different things. It could be for proofreading, grammar, and all of those things. She's doing that. She's also going to be having like classes, and also she does mentorship. So she's been so determined that she's gone all out to try and help other people in her own way. And now she's doing it even more through her business. And let me tell you how me and her met. This was a long ago when we were teenagers. We met at the Sickle Cell and Thalassemia Center in London. She's also got sickle cell, so we met there, and we became friends. We'll see each other. We will go to, because they used to take us, like the support group that we were part of. They used to like take us to different trips we've gone to together. And I remember there was a time they took us to the National TV Awards and all of that in London, and we've gone to different trips as well. And then when we both, the crazy thing is we both ended up having to resit our GCSEs. So we were in the same sixth form. Not only were we in the same sixth form, we were studying the same subjects. So we were in the same, we had the same classes. And while we were receiving our GCSEs doing GNVQ, and then we went on to doing our A levels, doing the same subjects literally. And while we were at the sixth form as well, we both got given an award. It's called a Merchant Taylor's Scholarship Award. And then we both ended up going to the same university, Roehampton. We both studied business management. And the crazy thing, when we got the award, I remember when we were in school, we got the award, and people were saying, oh, we only got the award because they felt sorry for us. Imagine, after all the effort and hard work we put in, and people said, oh, they just felt sorry for them because of their health, which was never the reason. No, it was because of our hard work. But we did not let that stop us. Nope, no, 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 we didn't. And went on to university. We both studied business management and graduated. We both went on to get married, and now we are both mothers. Not only that, we still ended up finding a way to still be entangled with one another as we work together now. I know I've been working as her coach to help her launch her brand. So our lives have been intertwined in so many ways. Our journeys are similar, but also there's a lot of difference. But she is going to tell you more about that. And so after you hear her story today, you will know why her name is Esther, because she truly is a star. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome my guest, Esther Oyetunde, aka Esther Emends. Welcome to the Power Hour, Esther.
Hello.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is so great to have you.
Thank
Finally, we've been planning this for a while now, so
you.
it's so great to have you. So, Esther, welcome. Please don't be shy. Just feel free. We don't bite here. We try our best not to, anyway. But, Esther, now that we're on this, please, I've kind of summarized a bit, touched on a bit of things, but I want us, in your own words, to tell us about yourself and just summarize your journey thus far. We will obviously be going into more details as we go on.
So, hello everybody. My name is Esther Oyetunde. I'm also known as I'm also known as Giggles. I'm also known as Bubble Kid. All my life, I've always been smiling, been giggling. That hence the name Giggles. A lot of people call me by those names. I'm also a Christian by belief, and I am a sickle cell champion. I call myself champion because you've ran a race and you've conquered. So that's how I see myself. At the age of 5, I had 3 strokes within a period of, I believe, 3 weeks or 4 weeks. And that left me with right side weakness. Again, that created a lot of mobility issues in regards to doing normal stuff, so to say. And again, that then around 18, I was told that I had post epilepsy, and that caused learning difficulties as well. So that I struggled quite a lot in my academic journey. it's been a race. It's not finished, but I know that God on my side has always seen me through thick and thin. So, yeah, that's me in a nutshell.
Thank you so much, Esther. I know you're being so humble and everything because the story is quite deep, you know. But I wanted to know, obviously, being diagnosed with, and having difficulties, health difficulties like that, it's not a walk in the park. And it will impact your life in so many ways. How did it specifically impact like your academic journey and things that you wanted to achieve?
So again, like Miriam said, we both studied um, A levels. Before A levels, I sat obviously GCSE English, and I actually sat that 3 times before I actually got to university. So the first time I got D, I did my A levels. I failed my A levels. During that course, I did my second round of English GCSE. Then we had to do GMVQ. These days, I believe it's referred to as BTEC. That I did my English again. It was a battle, like knowing fully well that I had learning difficulties. It was a struggle to get through passing English GCSE. After the failed A levels, I did an additional course in order for me to get to university, which I got a distinction in. So once I went to university, I struggled. In my first year, I struggled a lot, to the extent that my tutor called a meeting with my parents in my first year to go part time instead of full time due to the health conditions and not putting stress upon myself. And I do believe that there was a concern with the one with the course and two with the tutors teaching me, but I refused to go full part time. Again, this is something that is my decision. It's not a mandatory thing to refuse. But then in my second year, I then went to do development, skills development classes to build my knowledge at university level because there's a big difference between understanding the academic journey in college as opposed to university level. So, building my skills in different areas to understand how to work my way through that journey in university really helped me to actually succeed and get that first class degree. Yeah.
It's incredible to hear you say that because I think sometimes people think when it comes to success, right? Yes, the subject is succeeding against all odds. It doesn't mean it's an easy, straightforward road. There are going to be you're going to have roads that have pothole. You're going to have bypass. The vehicle might break down. You know, to get to that destination, you might take the longer route. There might be road closure. You may have to pay, certain places to cross, you have to pay you may have to do that. You may have the vehicle might break down, but it is about you knowing this is the destination I want to head and I'm going to find my way to that destination, regardless of the obstacles. Just as you said, myself, I was also told that, oh, why doesn't she just do part time? You know? But for me personally, I was like, no, I'm here and I want to do what I want to do. I need to just do I need to do to get to where I need to get to, right? But it's different for everyone. If you doing part-time for you, maybe you're watching this, is what's going to work out because of your situation, your circumstances, just accept it. This is what needs to happen. But at the end of the day, I'm going to get where I want to get, right? So in terms of your like health challenges, because obviously it's not easy going through everything that your body went through, right? That can literally take somebody's life like that. You know, it's a miracle you survive. It's but God had a purpose for you to survive,
Definitely.
and that is why you are here. You know, to tell that story, to inspire, empower other people. But in terms of having to, what challenges did you have to deal with in terms of changing maybe the way you do things and having to learn how to speak again, you know, walk again, and all of those things? What were some of those challenges you had to face to get to? Because obviously it's not easy going from doing things just automatically to having to learn how to do it like literally
Yeah.
like a child. So what were some of those challenges that you faced, and how did you try to overcome them?
So before I had the stroke, I was actually right-handed. No, I was actually left-handed. No, I was right-handed. Yeah. So I had to relearn how to write with my left hand, how to, function with my left hand, as opposed to my right, because I had the right side weakness. And yes, doctors had said to me, or has said to my parents that, she's not going to walk, she's not going to talk, she's not going to eat, name it all. They said it all. And they said that I wouldn't even live past my childhood. Yeah. And I said, obviously, I was 5, so I didn't really know as much, but my mum was there for me. We went from physio to occupational therapist to speech and language to neurologists to pediatricians. And I think it's my mum will probably vouch for me and say it's the inner strength that I had that pushed me towards getting what I want. And I always have a desire when I put myself in something, I want to complete it, regardless how long it would take me or how far I have to walk or run. In life, some people can walk the race, some people can run the race, some people can get to a place within 2 years, some people can get there within 6 months. So it's all about knowing your capacity and knowing how far you can go. It's just like when I was in college, I was given a scholarship to study at University of Greenwich, and I was given a place at King's College, which is close by to where I live. And a lot of my tutors and course mates were like, "Oh yeah, you got a scholarship, you should go for Greenwich University, or you live close by to King's, you should go." So it doesn't mean that you should travel as far as you hope to. And I said no, because the point where me and Miriam went to Roehampton University's open day, and as soon as I stepped my foot in there, I said, "This is for me. Nowhere else but here." I didn't even step into any of the classes, didn't talk to any of the teachers. I just stood on the grass on campus. I said, yeah, this is where I'm going. So when I was in college and everybody was saying all these things about, um, you know, don't go, you should do the scholarship, it's free, is that. I called I call them distractions for me. Other people will see it as opportunities, but again, like I said, everybody's race is different. And out of the five universities that I applied for via UCAS, it was only Roehampton that required a merit. All the other universities required a pass. So that's what even prompted my classmates to even push me towards that. And that could have led me off track, so to say. And again, when I was doing my GCSE English, that was really hard because it was the same tutor that was teaching me the English GCSE. And he told me that you can't do a higher paper. It was either foundation or higher that you could do. So all throughout the three opportunities, I did foundation. And I told him on the last opportunity that can I do a higher paper so that I can just pass? I just need to get a C. That's all I need to get. And it was like, no, you're not capable. You're not capable. And I said, okay, if that's going to be the case, I will just, work myself up to make sure that I get the C that I need within the foundation paper. And I think the other struggles that I had growing up was, I wouldn't call it a challenge, I call it more of a blessing, because I'm a mom of one, and she's 5, and she has global development delay. So having that having that difficulty, I would say, plus my own difficulties, it was really challenging having to, carry her in and out of the bath, in and out of her bed, etc., etc. Feeding her with one hand. Oh, it was just a lot. It's still going on, but I do thank God that He has brought me thus far into my into my journey. My journey hasn't finished, like I said in the beginning. It's just started for me. But I believe that no matter what you are going to do, just know that one, God is on your side, and two, you can do it. Yeah, I think that's about it in regards to that question.
Yeah, I think what you said is definitely it is so true. You know, determination. Sometimes in life, we all have our challenges. For some of you watching, it may not be health related. Ours may be. Obviously, we also have some personal things that game, but yours may not be mainly health related. But it's just as valid. But you have to find it within you. Be determined. And I remember the like it was me and Esther, along from our parent that went to that open day, and Esther saying, "This is the university I'm going to be at. This is where I'm going to attend." And I remember as well walking into that university. I don't know what it is about it. And I also made up my mind. This is where I was going. And that was my first choice. You know, luckily for me, I was able to get in the first time. And I remember looking forward so much to going together with Esther, because we were both going to go and study business management. And when she didn't get it in that year specifically, oh God, I felt so bad because here was at least I was going to have somebody that will understand. But again, yet it was also a blessing in disguise because with me going in first, I was able to to have a bit of knowledge and some things that I was able to then pass on to Esther and to prepare her for when she followed on the following year, and we were so determined. The one of the interesting thing, both of us were actually offered like extension for our dissertation, and we both turned it down. And I think some people be like, why would you turn it down? That is so silly. No, I think it's because we know, right? We wanted to be judged and be assessed based on our ability, not our health. I didn't want my health to be the reason I get a certain grade. I wanted to get that work in the same time as everyone else, even though half of that time I was in hospital. But also, I knew that the world out there is not going to be pampering me, right? The world of work, the world of business, people right now, I have clients, they don't care where I'm going to, I'm not going to, I'm in hospital, I'm not in hospital. That's not their problem. I've got work to do. I've got work to do. So it was in a way preparing ourselves for the world out there. And that is why we are able to maybe do what we're doing now. So now, Esther, we're coming to the important bit. Tell us about what is Esther Emends?
So I just want to verify. Some people have come up to me and talked about this brand name, and when I say Emens, a lot of people were thinking that I've said amens. And yes, there's two. It's two different words. It is a word in the vocabulary. So amens is to change something to make it better, and emens is to correct something to fix an error. So those that is what I do. I correct documents, presentations, dissertations, thesis, proposals, um, basic assignments as well. Um, and yeah, so my own tagline, so to say, is rise up and shine. I've always had that growing up, knowing that where am I going to place this tagline? Where am I going to place it? And this is the perfect place to put it. Rise up and shine. You are gifted in all your ways to be able to rise up and shine. And the services that we do provide are academic proofreading. Again, like I said, with all the different documents. I do provide a mentoring program as well. And this ranges from mature students to the average 18-year-old going to uni. And then we also have skills development classes. Now, that one is coming very soon. And that's just classes that enables you to understand the academic journey that you need to. I think you need to, the understanding of how university is different from college or how college is different from university, because there is a big jump, especially with university level. The way that you write assignments in college is different from the way that you write assignments in uni. Understanding the way you learn, sometimes we all go in and say, oh yeah, I can revise, I can use post-it notes or use flashcards to revise. But there's some people that are visual, some people that are audio, like to listen to themselves, record themselves and listen back. Some of them like to use objects to remember in order to revise for the exams. Same way with motivation, all of these different little topics that can develop your skills within university. And one thing to note is that I don't write the content of your assignments or I don't check your references. However, I do have online resources to support you when doing your references, different types of references, as well as how to write it as well. I actually started out with proofreading, but over the years, I then said, let me expand it to the skills that I've learned during my academic journey, which, again, like I said, is being a student mentor within university, as well as having attended some skills development classes whilst in college and in university. So yeah, I think that sums up my business brands, if you want to call it.
Yeah, that's great. That is that. So, who are your main target audience? So, who is it that you are targeting in terms of the services that you provide?
So initially, I target college and university students, as well as mature students and professionals, colleagues who are studying professional qualifications such as accounting or nursing or any health qualifications, business qualifications, and the list goes on. But those are the main target audience that I guess that benefit from my services.
All right, so the like main target audience, and I think it's a good thing as well, especially when you say like mature students, because sometimes when you are a mature student, especially if you've been away from school for a long time, when you go back in, it's really difficult to try and understand, everything, to try and even know where to start. But that's why it's good that besides the proofreading, you're also offering these classes where people can learn, because things like referencing, it changes over time as well. A lot of the structure, the way your work is expected, the way you're expected to do research, it changes. Education and learning is constantly evolving. And if you have been away from school for a long time and you go in, it can be so difficult. And most of the time, when you are a mature student as well, you've got maybe a job on the side, you've
Hmm.
got family, you've got kids, you've got all of these things going on. And it's so difficult. Technology, because remember when we were at uni, when my mom was at first at uni, you only submit, like you print it, you submit. When we were at uni, you submit the hard copy and you submit also it electronically through Turnitin, right? But now it's only through Turnitin. I remember when my mom was doing her masters, right? God help us. Her first assignment to submit it. So in Turnitin, like now, right? I didn't know that there is the basically the check, the like they check for plagiarism.
Plagiarism.
Yes, and then there is the submission. So all along we thought when we have checked for plagiarism, we have submitted the work. We at that point were celebrating that we've submitted the assignment, not knowing we only submitted it for plagiarism check. And it gives you a percentage.
Yes.
That's why I say you need things like this, because even though I went to uni, I finished uni in 2012. Even me myself didn't know that, oh, there is one, they have the one to check for plagiarism. And then you have the other one, which is the actual submission. We sat there celebrating, thinking we submitted the work. Only it was somebody else, another fellow student from her master's course, that like, oh, Aminata, have you submitted? Well, I'm like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, they even said, they told us it's 20%, whatever percentage of plagiarism. It's like, no, 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 that's just to check for plagiarism. I was like, oh my God, I didn't know that. We could have sat there and missed out,
Yeah,
because things have changed so much, you
definitely.
know. So this is it. Things are constantly changing, and I think that's why classes like that. And I want people to visit your website, because, and I'm actually going to share my screen to show your website, so people will know like the kind of resources, right, that you offer. And it's not just about the proofreading. You've got so much information there, resources and academic and learning resources that can help people. You going back, whether you are young, you're whatever it is, right? Learning is not easy. things are constantly evolving and changing, and you have to be ready to move along with the change, because otherwise you're going to be left behind. And
Definitely.
that is just how it is. There is no way around it. It's just the way it is. So I'm just going to go onto your website and share my page, just so I can show people some of the resources that even I myself find myself, catching up on, because uh, you never know. Sometimes somebody, let me share. Give me a second. I'm just going to share my screen so we can check out Esther's website, because it's actually quite good, you know, and resourceful. So let me just, right, there we go. All right, there we go. This is the website. Congratulations, girl. I'm so proud of you. Seriously. This is it. And you can see here the services that are being provided. You have academic proofreading, you've got the mentorship. And trust me, I had a mentor when I was at uni who was so helpful in terms of guiding me. I was not there half the time, even. So at least I had somebody to just kind of talk to about things, and that was helpful. And the classes, of course, they're going to be coming up, but people can register. Can they register now to for the classes?
No,
Okay.
they
All
can
right. That'll
only
be
do
coming.
the they can only do the mentoring and proofreading at the moment.
Okay. So let's go on to the resources. This is it, right? And when I say this, look at this study tips. And you go there. There are all of this. You can download these and print them out. This is how to use practice exam papers. Remember when we were at sixth form? We spent our life just doing practice papers, and it helped. It
Yeah, they,
really did help us. Oh my god, I don't think I remember, because I did sociology, right? And there's this question, and our teacher said, oh, don't put too much time. This, it never comes anything more than a 4 mark, because you have 4 mark, 8 mark, and all of that, right? But something in my head just like, you know what? Just make sure you practice this as much as possible. Because in all the exam papers for the past 5 years, that question never came up as anything more than a 4 mark question. But I decided to write a whole essay. And guess what, Esther? It came as a 20 mark question. And
wow.
that really helped me. And that is how I actually managed to get an A for sociology. A star, but that time they were not giving the star. I need to go there so they can go and give me my star back. But just always be prepared. And it was through these exam papers that really helped us to prepare for those exams. So you have information there about practice, exam papers, 3 ways to get more out of your revision, especially these days with the distraction of social media. That's the good thing. We didn't have so much of that when we were in,
Yeah.
in uni or school, but now the distraction is so much, and obviously making a revision schedule is very important. All of these resources are so vital when you want to get and do your best. And there's also about academic referencing. Referencing is the one that most of the time it will boggle your mind, because referencing is different for, if you're referencing a website, an article is all different ways of doing it. You don't just go and just put in, www dot this is where I got the information.com. It doesn't work like that. You have to do more than just that. So that's the website, and the website is actually on the screen right now as well. So I'm going to stop sharing, and we're going to go back to that. But please do check it out. And even if you don't, you're not in need of the services, I go there, check it out every now and then just to keep myself updated, because somebody may have a question that they may want to ask me, and I want to be prepared. But I wanted to ask you, Esther, what was your inspiration behind starting Esther Even? What was it that inspired you? You're like, you know what, I need to start this.
Well, it started. The inspiration started years ago, college days, I think. I went to sixth form and then college, so it actually started in sixth form, where a lot of my course mates were like, "Esther, you should really do this because you're really good at it." Because I think most of the assignments, I think when it comes to layout, grammar, and spelling, it's about 10 to 15. Some of them are 20%. So that actually carries a lot of weight on your actual grade in total. So a lot of the course mates were like, "Oh yeah, I got a 2-1, I got a B, I got this, I got that." It's like, "Yeah, you're really, really good." I'm like, "Oh, gosh, this is really like," the first time I heard it, I was like, "Yeah, it's just a fluke. I'm not really good at it, you know." Considering I was getting D's in my English GCSE, when I matched it up with the GCSE, I was like, "Nah, this is not. It doesn't tally." Um, I think when I got to university, um, a lot of my peer mates were like, "Esther, I think you need to make this into a money business," because a lot of my course mates, I was checking their coursework as well as doing my own, but a lot of them were getting higher grades than they expected, because in university is either marked as third, 2-2, 2-1, or first, or some people just use percentages. But a lot of them were getting maybe 20% more than what they would normally get, or 40% more than what they would normally get. And I was like, okay, this looks promising. This looks promising. And I also, as a mentor, as a student mentor in my second year, I checked mature students' work. And just like what Miriam said, that sometimes as a mature student, you're out of school for a long time, and coming back to school, you don't even know A to B or A to X. So I checked her work. She's normally a low 2-2. So that would be equivalent to probably a C, I believe. So I now checked her work, and she actually got a low 2-1, which is equivalent to a B, a high B. So I was like, okay, this is looking promising, because this is a mature student and her work was not to be not to be rude or anything. It was very unstructured. Paragraphs weren't there, full stops weren't there, capital letters weren't there. And I said, where am I going to start with this? I don't know, because it just was all mumbo jumbo and I didn't understand. The second reason is, in my degree, I actually received 3 2-2s, 4 2-1s, and the rest were first class in all my exams, assignments, presentations. And when people knew that about me, some people knew that about me even when I was going into my third year. And because we were identified as student IDs, so not a lot of people knew who got what. But because I was getting a lot of first, people recognized my ID number. So it will start with the first 3 letters of your surname and then a whole number of digits. So people are like, "Oh yeah, Esther got this. Esther got 80%. Esther got 87." Did it? And because I was always the last person to go and check my results, a lot of people were coming back and doing chit chat and saying, "Oh, Esther, did you go and see? Esther, did you go and see?" And I'm like, okay. So, but one of the things that I do emphasize is that I'm not promoting that everybody gets a first class in their degree, because that's not who I am. I'm there to ensure that you get the best grade possible, because I do believe that language shouldn't be a barrier to anybody's success. Yes, I got D's in my English, but at the same time, I got D in my literature, but I got C in my language. And that's how the English was split up into two. But obviously, overall, I got D. But putting that aside, one of the things that I do make sure that people understand is that I'm not promoting everybody to get first class, because it's important that people understand that they have their own race to run, same as I when I was in uni. And I think that is what really inspired me in total of why I went ahead and did this Esther Emends. I think it took a while, but I think the only reason why it took a while is for me to gather my thoughts and say why I actually started it, and back to ground zero and say, why did I start it? What do I want to get out of it? Because I do believe that a lot of people are struggling to to even to even pass uni. And I have had a lot of reviews from some of my students that have started university last year, and this year too. And a lot of them were like, I don't think I can finish this because I don't understand it. And I don't think is the understanding of the degree. I think it's the method in which you attack it with, because you could study psychology in college and then say, yeah, I got A star, I got how I don't know, however, it's marked now, but let's just use A star as the top grade and say, yeah, I can beat this in uni, I can do this, I can do this. The moment you get your first assignment in uni, you be like, uh-oh, like I got a third, or I got a 2-2. How is that possible if I had an A star in college? But what people don't understand is that there's a certain degree of difficulty within the university level. And I think that's one of the reasons why I did say to myself that I wanted to help other people. As much as it helped me, I want to help other people. And I think that's one of the reasons why that's one of the reasons why it inspired me to start my business.
That is so great. So, obviously, we all know starting a business, it doesn't matter what kind of business it is, starting any business is not easy, right? And I have been privileged enough to be your coach, during this journey. And as I say, privileged and honored, because I truly am. It's been such a joy working with you and seeing you just blossom, you know, and I know you will continue to blossom. But I know obviously there have been like difficulties and challenges as your business coach, but from your own from your own understanding, what are some of the challenges that you have faced? Because there'll be somebody, right? And I think we live in the world where you can turn your skills, right, and your passion into your a profit. Basically, you can now turn your passion into a profit if you really just find a way, and you get the right support and everything, and you have the right structure. But that does not come without its challenges. which is very important. And I
Mhm.
always like people to know that, you know, all that glitters ain't golden. Everybody's got their own struggles, the challenges they go through. And especially with this pandemic, COVID, and also you are a mother as well, you've got a child, a young child. And I, being a mom, I know how difficult it is to do anything. And then on top of that, we both have our health struggles. We have every couple of weeks, we have our blood exchange transfusions where we have to go into hospital. Our blood is basically removed and replaced, just so we can have some sort of normality. So we have to deal with all of that while trying to grow a business, a brand, do something with our lives. And but I always like people to know that, look, it's not easy. And if you are going to look at the good aspect, right, and be inspired by that, I also want to be realistic with people so they know that it will come with difficulties. There are going to be bumps on the road. But if I can find a way to get by those bumps, those obstacles, so can you. So, and that is why I would like to know, from your own perspective, what are some of the challenges you have faced and how have you tried to kind of overcome them? Like launching this, doing this business and launching this
Where do you want me to start?
brand. You
Um,
start anyway. So
so I think whether you want to continue, um, whether you want to do something part time or full time, is all left to your capabilities and what you are best suited in. Um, Before my daughter, when I think my daughter was about 2 years of age, when she was diagnosed with the global development delay, and up until that point, I was working as a HR officer, not manager. But
exactly.
yeah, so as I was working within HR for over, this is 5, 6 years now, I had to give it up because the challenges between going full time to work and looking after my child who has this need, as well as my own needs of going in and out of hospital, you know. But I always say, do what is best for your body. You can go into medical field and say, yep, I want to do this, I want to do that. But you have to remember that there's 12-hour shifts, there's amount of pressure on you and your family if you do go into that area. But you've got to sit down and kind of plan out yourself what can and cannot you, what can and you can't do. So I think from there, I took it to God and I said, look, this is what I want to do. This is what I'm struggling with. And God, what are you saying? God speaks to us in different ways. God speaks to me via my dreams and via meditation. But one of the things that I said to myself is that I want to do it God's way. It's easy for you to run the race by yourself, but when you don't have any support, um, that's where the challenges come from. And I said, can I do work and business together as well as being a mom? And I said, no. Everybody, don't get me wrong, everybody is different. Some people can do it, some people can't. So that I need to point out, and knowing fully well that we have different destinies that God has designed us for. So that in itself is important to understand. And I feel like having accountability partners to support me as well and to guide me and to inspire me is also another thing that's important to note. Other challenges were knowing that I had these issues never phased me, never stopped me from doing what I wanted to do. But you've also got to use wisdom to know how far you can go, or how little you can do, or how much you can do. I'm not saying that, you know, you can't run the world or anything like that. But the key thing is understanding who you are, what you're here for, and how you're going to represent yourself. And I believe that it's important to understand that we are all going through tests, tests and trials, but knowing fully well that we are going to reach a testimony at the end of the day. This is why I am sharing my own testimony, because I've gone through so many tests, so many trials. Some people can relate, some people cannot relate. Some people are jealous, even though, like, I've had it hard. People are jealous. But one thing that I remember is God is on my side, regardless of the challenges that I face. And I think that's the key thing that really helped me to face my fears, especially starting a business. Because you will say that, oh, yeah, I want to start a business, I want to be my own boss. But that also carries additional issues, especially being a mom, especially being a wife as well. It gets all complicated, but at the same time, it is worth it if you put your mind to it. So I think that really answers the question.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm just here literally grinning because I can feel every word, having to go through those challenges as well as somebody who's got health difficulties, as a mother, a wife, and trying to balance it all. It is never easy. And sometimes, we may make it look easy when we come out there. People will see all smiles, all grins. They wouldn't know that 2 days ago I was in hospital. They wouldn't know sometimes when I'm on the stream, I am in pain, and I literally have to afterwards run and get some medicine, or have to take medicine just to be able to even sit up still. But at
Mm-hmm,
the end of the day, right, I know myself and what I want. And of course, I'm not going to kill myself,
mm-hmm,
right? I also
definitely.
know my limit. Well, I'm learning that because it has been very difficult, especially when you're used to having to always do so much to achieve. It becomes the norm. And now I'm learning to, well, really, I'm practicing to unlearn some of those
Yeah,
things. Yeah, and working on myself every day. It is
definitely.
a journey, and the work never stops. It never stops, and you have to carry on doing it. My other question to you. So let's say, obviously, we like before even I remember from school, right? I had every teacher trying to put me off even ever thinking about college, let alone university. And I remember my career advisor telling me, play like just bluntly telling me that, Miriam, like
Good, good,
why
good.
why, why would you want to go to uni? You know you can't do it because of your health, right?
Mm-hmm,
You know you can't do that. Why don't you just go and study, go and do drama, not even study, go and do drama. You're not well, the government will look after you and all of that. So these are things that a lot of people you will get to hear, but I thankfully, like you and myself, we knew what we wanted. We and
mm-hmm.
also, and I think the over great difference is both of us can testify to how great of moms and families we have around us that really, really help to support us when because they believe in us, we believe in ourselves.
Yeah,
But not everybody's got that. Somebody may be watching this, right, and thinking, they may have whether their, challenges are held medically or not. It doesn't have to be medical needs, it can be any other needs or challenges, right? And they are really apprehensive. about going into higher education, not just uni, higher education or anything like that, or even starting a business, for example, what would be your advice to them based on your own experience? What would you be your advice to them?
So I've written down a few statements that brought I've took along with me on my journey from college till university stage and up until now, to be honest. But the first one that I've written is, I am an extraordinary woman doing ordinary things in an extraordinary way. You can write man if you are a man. If you're male, put man. And I say that because there are many obstacles in life that you have to understand that you may not get through the same way that somebody else is going to get through. And the meaning of the meaning of Esther has two meanings. First, it means a queen biblically, and it means a star. I think that's Latin or something like that. But it also means a star. So again, going back to my tagline, rise up and shine, that's where the star comes into play. And my middle name is Oluwafumilayo, which also means God give me joy. And I say to myself that, look, I have to, as much as I'm representing myself, I've got to represent my name. Yes, we may not have parents who are supportive, but if you know who you are, and I think the first and foremost, I think, is knowing the meaning of your name. I think when you know the meaning of your name, it will gear you up to push you even further into what you want to do as in life, whether it be a business, whether it be continuing in your academic journey. The other statement that I wrote was, I am going through a test to be a testimony. I am also going through a mess to be a message to the nation. um I've already said the meaning of what that is earlier on. The other one that I said is, you may not be there yet, but you have to look behind the mess and see the masterpiece. You are created in God's eyes, regardless of where you're from, what family you're coming from. It does not matter. But what you need to see is the end result, which is a masterpiece, you know. And I think one aspect that I love is reading biblical scriptures. And if you can pardon me, I'll read a couple of scriptures, which is from James 1, verses 2 to 7, which I'll quickly read. Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whether you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything. If you of if any of you lack wisdom, you should ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to you. But when you ask, you must believe and not doubt, because the one who doubts is like a wave of the sea, blown and tossed by the wind. That person should not expect to receive anything from the Lord. Such a person is double-minded and unstable in all they do. And what I want to take out from that scripture is knowing that you must believe and not doubt. Because when you're shaky and not sure of yourself, you're not going to produce the best out of who you're supposed to be. You know, it's easy for us to follow the crowd, Yeah, she's the same age as me, she's doing the same course as me, yeah, she's the same height as me, name it. You can say whatever you want to say, but we were born differently and we were born with different destinies. Same way with Matthew 5:13 to 16, which reads, "You are the salt of the earth, but if the salt loses its saltiness, how can it become salty again? It is no longer good for anything except it to be thrown out and trampled underfoot. You are also the light of the world. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden. Neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on its stand, and it gives light to everyone in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven." You know, bringing what that showed that what that
Have
brings
it
to
too?
what that brings to me
Stop
is
it.
you are like you need to show
Stop.
that you are
Shoot.
worth something. You need to show that you can push yourself towards something. You need to show yourself that no matter what, I can do it. No matter what the doctors say, no matter what the teachers say, no matter what my friends may say, because it's so easy for our friends, especially social media. We see everybody succeeded. Yes, I got a house at 18. Yes, I got a car at 15 or whatever. It could be anything. But when you know your race, you don't need anybody to drag you out again. You literally do not need anybody to drag you out. And the last scripture that I'm going to read is from Genesis 12:1 to 3, which says, "Go from your country, your people, and your father's household to the land
Have it said.
I will
This is
make
your final
you
warning.
into a great nation, and I will bless you. I will make your name great, and you will be a blessing. I will bless those who bless you, and whoever curses you, I will curse. And all people of earth will be blessed through you." Again, everything that I'm saying boils down to the scripture, because whoever wants to be on your journey will be on your journey and will be there for a reason. You don't need anybody to tell you why they are on the journey with you. Whether they are on the journey with you for 2 months and they drop off, they were there for a purpose. And I think that in itself, and the advice that I can give to people that have medical needs, have no medical needs, and one of the things that I would like to put out there is, if if you have, okay, so a lot of people don't know that they have learning difficulties, and it's not just dyslexia. There's many other learning difficulties out there. But if you're not sure, you should contact your university or your college. Or if not, then you can contact me, and then we can talk through it in more depth. But yeah, that's the advice that I will give to students, especially that have medical or other needs.
Oh my God, thank you so much, Esther. Just literally, even though I'm not a student myself, I think the advice that you're giving is not just for students. You understand? It's just literally, it's generic advice. It doesn't matter what you are doing, what stage of your life you are at. All those scriptures, all of it, we can relate to in different ways, in different parts. It doesn't matter, as I said, the stage you're in your life. Pick something out of it and take that with you, you know. And I think that is what is important, that we can all come out here, we can support and empower one another, and we all need to realize that all our journeys are different. You know, there is no, life is not like a race where everybody starts in the same place, the same position, and they have the same amount of time. No, no, no. Life is very different. Some people may start all the way, some people will not even really realize their dreams until much later in life. And that is fine as well. If you realize your dreams earlier, that is fine too. But you have to do what works for you. You need to know that you're an individual, you know? Take what you can. Don't say, oh, what Esther's saying doesn't really relate to me. Take what can relate to you. Oh, I'm not a student. You don't have to be. You understand? You just can take this advice for yourself in for whatever piece you need to take. Pick this. Take what is all right with you, what works for you, and take that along with you in your journey. We
Definitely.
have stumbled, we have fallen, we have had, so many obstacles. But what matters is that we keep going. We also know our limit. Just as you said, don't compare yourself with somebody. You see them on Instagram, they're 18, they've got the biggest house, the cars. You don't even know what lies behind it. Not all that glitters is golden. It's about being true to yourself,
Hmm.
being going according in your own pace. It is not a race. Know that. It is not a race. You have to go according to your pace. And that is, I think, one of the most important things. So, Esther, what right now we know, especially being a student right now, it's not going to be easy for anybody, right?
Hmm.
Especially with the pandemic. There, you have to literally change the way you do things, your learning, and all of that, right? What tips would you give somebody that you're going through it, you're struggling, 1 minute, come back to uni. Yes, you're doing classes. Next minute, oh no, stay at home. Next minute, it's fine now, you can come back, stay at home. Like we again, all this confusing messages constantly. The government, the leaders don't even know what's going on. How are we supposed to know what's going on? And it can get so confusing. And also, that can really just demotivate somebody. They may just feel like, you know what? Nah, I can't do this. And indeed, you have the right to choose. If you feel like, you know what? This is not the time, right? For me to do this, that is completely fine. But for those who want to do this and they really determine and truly want to do this, what tips can you give them? Anything to just help them along?
So, um, the key thing that I would say is keep at it, and look for like-minded people as well, because you will eventually reach the end. It might take more than 3 years to complete your degree. It might take more than 4 years to complete your degree. But remember that in everything, in everything, we need to understand that we have the power to 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 encourage ourselves, because I feel like some people tend to pretend that they know it all, but they don't, and they need people to support them. And I think when you have people to support you, it helps even more. I'm not detracting away from my business, but in general, with mentors within uni, within college, even advisors, career advisors, I don't know what other type of departments you have in your college or university that can support you emotionally, because this journey is not just academic, is emotionally and psychologically draining, especially when it's not going your way, just like the pandemic that we're facing. And again, I want to read another scripture, Psalms 23 verse 4, which says, even though I walk through the valley of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me, your rod and your staff, they comfort me. So that just sums up what I've just said in total, that the darkest valley is this pandemic, and you've just got to walk it, just walk it. And I also say that I see this period as a storm, so you don't have to worry or fear, as every storm will pass, just like every season will pass. Some seasons will be longer than others, some season will be shorter. So it's not about how quick I can get over it, is how successful I can be in this period, to be able to say I have testified that I have made it, you know. And one key thing that I always say to my mentees, especially, is you're paying 9 grand, if not more, every year. Just to put that into context, that 9 grand is my whole degree. So, what I'm trying to say is, you have heavily invested in your education. So, you have to do everything that is possible to ensure that you get the best out of your degree. The best that you can say that, yes, I've made it through the fire, through the storm, through the wind, through the waters, through the valley. I have made it. And I feel like some people are not strong enough to make it through, and I acknowledge that. But at the same time, just remember that when you have a goal, no matter what is in front of you, you will make it. It's just like a ladder. Two people can climb the ladder. Some people have big spaces in each step of the ladder. Some people have minor steps, or minor space within each step. But you're still going to reach the end. Um, it just what's the word called? It's just like you have to remember who you are and remember where you're going. And I think that's how I would really advise students, especially in this pandemic, how to, face that storm.
Thank you so much. And I think, just as most of you, your advice and your tips, it's not just about being student. We can all take something out of it, and in our own lives, whether you're a student, whether you're working, or whatever it is you're doing, you're an entrepreneur, right? So thank you so much for that. And I'm so happy that you are guided by the scriptures, these words, because I'm like that. And sometimes people are too shy or ashamed or whatever it is, right, to really say that, yes, I follow the words, I am guided by God, or whatever it is, because these days is like the new generation, that's not cool enough. But you are true to yourself, and please keep being like that, continue doing that, because it is amazing. It makes you stand out from the rest, and that's what makes you unique. So
Definitely.
now, in terms of business, life itself, what is next for Esther Image and for Esther? What are your goals, your target moving forward?
Um, I think one of my main targets is to really have to build a support group around students, or even professionals who have, or people in general that have health conditions or learning difficulties, within the education system, because I've come to learn, with my own experience and with my mentees' experiences, that it's really challenging. And like I said before, I know some of these questions, some of these answers, I'm repeating myself, but it's really important to understand that we cannot do it by ourselves. You cannot run the race by yourself. It's just like a two-legged race. You know, you can't win it by yourself. You need the support of your teammate to ensure that you run over the line. That is the most key aspect of running a race. You can't just leave your partner behind and say, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna make it," and you win. No, you're probably gonna lose. But I feel like some people need to understand that there needs to be that support group for a lot of these people, because statistics, how to pronounce this word, statistically, people who
Yeah,
have
statistically, yeah.
people who have learning difficulties or health conditions, especially within university level, drop out within either the first academic year or the first term. And to be honest with you, that's really upsetting to me, because you've passed a lot of waters, you've passed a lot of storms, especially with secondary school, college, and whatever else that you faced before going to uni. And then at the point of uni where it's coming to an end, you know, you say you can't do it. And I believe that that's because there's not enough support out there. And I think one of the other things that I'm targeting is parents who have children that have additional needs. I think that's another thing that needs to be brought about. I know that I haven't spoken about it in my past answers, but this is something that I'm also passionate about, because there's a lot of struggles with what we can get, what is out there, how we can support ourselves, and where we can go, who to talk to. Again, this is all about support and community and being able to rise up with the struggles that we are facing in life. So I think those are the two main goals that I have for the future at the moment.
That is fantastic. All right. So, in terms of supporting you and your work and what you do, how can we, anybody watching this, how can we support your work and what you're doing, to get you to achieve, towards achieving these goals that you have?
As simple as word of mouth. Um, I don't know what else to say, but I think word of mouth is really important, because these days we don't do business cards, we don't really do posters these days. Like, yeah, maybe on social media, yeah, but the key thing that I've written down is word of mouth in your college, in your university. It may not benefit you, but you may know of somebody that it may benefit. Honestly, the price range is rather low as opposed to other competitors. And I think the difference between myself or my business and other competitors is that additional online support and mentorship, really. And that's really the key area that I'm actually focusing on, is supporting the community in that area. So I think with with that, I can only say word of mouth.
I definitely think word of mouth recommendation. Use the website, go onto the website, share it with other people. The website is right now on the screen. It's very simple to remember as well. It's www.estheremends.co.uk. Go onto the website. Even if you're not a student, people that are students, recommend it to them. Recommend her services to them. And right now, your focus, I know, is students. But do you have any plans to also like support like maybe people, maybe professionals in any way? Of course, I know right now you're focusing on students, and we have to crawl before we fly and before walk and fly. But do you have any like that plan or that just idea in mind to support maybe professional people or any other people
Yeah,
moving forward?
moving forward, I think in regards to professionals, I'm looking to um, I'm looking to go into workplaces to be able to support professionals who are actually doing professional qualifications whilst working, and support them that way. Um, I think alongside students, professionals are a part of my plans, and I can't think of any other group that could.
What about in terms of, okay, even in terms of students, do you want to support, do you have any plans to work with, let's say, students that are in other parts of the world that are not within the UK, that are maybe in other parts? It may not be now, but moving forward, do you have any plans to include students from other parts of the world? Because obviously, people may be watching this and they're not in the UK, and they may be thinking, well, what about us?
Yes. Um, I sorry if I've excluded you out of the picture. But yeah, I do have plans, and they are coming up very soon in regards to supporting in terms of mentoring internationally. I have started mentoring people in Africa. Again, is understanding the system that they have out there, first of all. But I know that in the future, that is where I'm leaning to, because I know that there's a lot of people in third world countries or just countries in general that want to aspire to have businesses but don't have the resources, or don't have the people who are genuinely out for their good. Because I know there's some people that wish people bad in general, and you can't run away from that. But finding those people that are passionate about what you're passionate about too, and trying to support you in that way, I think that's a that's a plan that I'm intending to go through with. Yeah.
That is great. And I also wanted, before we leave and we go about our business, because obviously we are moms, and you already heard me hustling with my own. Sorry about that. And before we round up, I just wanted to know, right? And I'll ask this to all my guests. What would you say are your 5 tips or 5 steps to success?
Um, First and foremost is prayer and direction from God, because it's so easy for us to forget about the purpose that we're on this earth for. Consistency is easy for us to stop and start, stop and start, stop and start. Motivation. I'm a, if anybody knows me, I'm a person that is motivated and determined and have a can do attitude. Like, one of the things that I don't think Mira mentioned it, but whilst we were in college, we we studied 3 subjects, but I only studied 2. She studied sociology, I studied psychology. But we both studied business studies and health and social care. So what I would have to do is, when she's off sick or at home, I would get the coursework slash classwork for the two classes that we are in, and then go to the sociology teacher and ask for the coursework. I'm not in her class. I will go to the teacher and say, Miriam is not in, and I need the classwork or coursework or whatever was discussed in class. And then I will go to her house. Her house was opposite the sixth form. So then I will now have to explain what is required of her to do in order for her to complete the coursework or classwork. And I would do that like diligently. I think it was for like I'm not sure whether it was up to a year or three quarters of a year. I can't remember, but it was a long period of time. So
For
that
our
goes to,
entire time at sixth form, I was going to save that. You know, when they say save the best for last, I was going to save that just for people to know how far we've come and how much we've supported one another.
yeah. And I think the last two is having a positive mind, because it's so easy for us in these times now to have a negative mind and say, okay, I'm going to give up. I don't have the resources. I don't have the money. I don't have this. I don't have that. But you have to remember that if you want something, I believe in destiny helpers. People will come your way to help you out. If you don't have money, I'm sure there will be a destiny helper that will give you at least maybe £200 or something like that. I'm just plucking a number out of the air. But they would support you because, like I said, people have goodwill about what you want in life. And the last thing is inspiring mentors so that I can get advice from and to be as to and to aspire to be those people in order for me to be a mentor. I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah, those are the five main things that I would say top of my success.
So if you could just recap that one more time, just point by point, because I'm really here taking notes. So if you could
Okay, so
do them.
prayer and direction from God, consistency, motivation slash determination, in brackets, can do attitude, positive mindset, and inspiring mentors, and aspire to be. Yeah, that's the bullet points that I've made.
Thank you so much for that, Esther. That is amazing. And remember when we were as I was planning the stream, I said I had a surprise for you, right? So as I said earlier, Esther and I, we've come such a long way. Our journey started a while ago. And the crazy thing is, we were both told we won't be anything, we won't be able to live long, we won't be able to achieve, we won't be able to have like normal lives, like getting married, and we won't be able to have kids.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? We have all of that. But back in 2009, right? We've achieved all those. Back in 2009, when we were finishing sixth form, we had our sixth form yearbook. There, this is 2009. And you know, funny thing, Esther and I wrote for each of them, because what it was is you don't write your own bit, somebody else does, and they write it there that they wrote it. I did Esther's, Esther did mine, right? So I would like to share what it was. This was 2009. This is over 10 years ago, right? That we made this, that we did this yearbooks and made those predictions and everything. Just give me 1 second. So it's yeah. So I'm going to share just to show you what it was that we kind of shared and predicted for one another. So I want to just share that. I don't know why it's not. Let me go back to sharing. 1 second. Okay, share. So give me a second. Share screen. Yes, there it is. Okay, right. So this is cute, beautiful Esther. But no, it is. This came straight from our yearbook, right? Which I still have my copy.
Yes.
So I'm going to go through this, right? We were given questions and then somebody else answers those questions. Esther, just let me know. You can see it clearly, right?
Just about. No.
Oh no. Better?
No. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So ooh, need to go up. How do I do that? Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So yes, her name is Esther Oyetunde. That's her marital her marital surname, but before that she was Esther Adeyinka. So this is her nickname was Giggle Stars because she was always giggling, just as she is now, her birthday. And then this is a summary. And by the way, this is written by me. And she did mine. So don't worry, you'll see mine too. And so this is what I wrote for Esther back in 2009. I said, Esther is a very hardworking and determined girl who is always who is also ready to help others. She always puts her friends first, and this is what makes her a great friend. And she is now like a sister to me. This is back in 2009. And then I asked, what will they be remembered for? And I wrote, she'll be remembered for her bubbly and cheerful personality because Esther's always had that bubbly and cheerful personality, you know? All right. And then it says, most likely, this is very important, most likely to be doing in 10 years' time. So this was in 2009. Obviously, we're not in 2022. So that is like 13 years now, right? So this is what I said she'll be doing in 10 years' time. I said she is most likely to be a counselor as she loves advising and helping other people. She might not be a counselor, but guess what she is? A mentor because she's always had that within her to help people. And this is why I say sometimes people can see what you don't even see, right? And we literally, this is back like 13 years ago, right? And now I am going to show you what Esther wrote for me. So, this is what Esther wrote for me. Give me a second. I'm going to show you what Esther wrote for me. And all right. Oh no, I stopped sharing, so I'm going to go back to sharing. So you will see how much like we knew about each other, and how much we could really see like right back from that time in terms of what we were going to do and become. You just know people, and we knew each other very well. I'm going to zoom this. Esther, can you see?
Yes.
All right, everybody, guess who this is? Guess who? It's Miriam herself. This was in 2009. Esther wrote this for me. I wrote her one, she did my one. This is name Miriam Kabia. Just in case you don't know, my full name is Miriam Kabia, my government name. aka Sunshine. And Esther, why is it that my nickname is Sunshine, please?
Because you're like, you're always there, you're always shining, like, so you're just shining in everywhere, in everything that you're doing. You're always there, you're always shining, you're always like in the spotlight, not in a bad way, but in a good way, in the sense that, you're recognized for good things.
Oh, thank you so much. But that's what my nickname was, Sunshine. So I hope I can bring the light and also the heat. And so, summary of person. And this is what Esther wrote for me. Esther wrote, very determined, strong minded.
Yes.
She never gives up, even due to everything she goes through. Thank you,
Yes.
Esther. And then they say, what will what will they be remembered for? And Esther wrote that I'll be remembered for being an inspiration.
Yes. Your
This was
legacy in
2008
school.
9.
Yeah.
And then they said, most likely to be doing in 10 years' time. Remember, people, this was 2009. We're now in 2000 and what? 22. And guess what Esther predicted I was going to be doing in 10 years' time? Businesswoman, entrepreneur. And that is exactly what I ended up doing. So it just shows when it comes to these things, right? You never ever know. People around you, they see your star, they see you shine, they
Hmm.
know they can see those things. And we were just making these predictions back then based on what we were seeing, And I'm glad I still have this yearbook because I always look back and look at everybody else, and I'm so so proud of you, Esther. This is just from me to you. I'm so proud of you and everything that you're doing. I knew, right, from that age you were going to do something to help people because you had it in you, and it just shows. It's just the same way they say your parents, they can see what you're going to grow up to be from even from when you're a child, a baby, they can see, they have that insight, and that is just it. We have kept at what we wanted to be, what we our desires were, and everything.
Hmm.
Things might have shifted a bit, but guess what? We never stopped fighting. And that
Definitely.
is the message we want you to take away from this today, that never give up, never stop fighting. So we are going to leave you soon, but before we do, I am going to take this opportunity and time to go through the comment. So please take it easy on us. Let me go through the comments. And there are a lot of them. Okay. And this is Adama Salone. Thank you very much. She said, Hiya. Hi, Adama. And then this is Kayode, who said, Fumi, a remarkable woman of God. No mountain too high to climb. Indeed. She is a definition of a virtuous woman because she keeps going. And Esther will always find a way, even when things are not going accordingly. She'll be like, you know what? That's God's plan. And imagine being her business coach, and I'm like, Esther, you gotta do this, you gotta. And like, you know what? That's which God? You better but it's been such a joy just getting to know her more, working with her, and confiding in each other. I'm talking to her when I'm in hospital, and recently we lost a friend that's we both knew. The same day I met Esther, my friend that lost her battle to sickle cell was also there. So there's something at the back of our mind. We know our time here is limited. We know we have to do our best, and we have to just do what we have to do. And that is that. And okay, this is we're going to see a lot of comments from Fantasia World because this is my sister from another mister. She said, Hi. She said, Oh, I have to share, and thank you so much. Fantasia, she said, "You look so cute." Esther, they said, "You're looking
Thank
cute."
you.
And then this is my other sister, Martha Jallo, said, "Hello, beautiful sis, looking good in the purple." Yay, I came wearing purple to honor both of my friends, to honor Esther, her brand, and also to honor our friend who passed away, and her funeral is tomorrow. And both of them, purple is their favorite color. So I came to just honor both of them because we've come a long way, all of us, and celebrating our journey. So thank you for that. And yeah, Fantasia said, strong woman right there. Indeed, she is. Esther, you are a strong woman, and keep doing what you're doing. And said she's beautiful. Of course she is. Okay. And then okay, this is Fantasia said, Jason said that's Dr. Hannah's mom. Now I'm being called Dr. Hannah's mom. Oh, thank you, Jason, baby. I love you. And Fantasia said, "You are so strong." Indeed, she is. And we have a special one here from the Mr. to Han to, the Mrs. right there. um, Femi, thank you so much, Femi, for joining. Femi said, "Good vibes, very proud of your achievement." Indeed. And that's what you need, a man next to you that can support you. That's Esther's husband right there. And I would say, Femi, thank you so much for looking after our baby girl. She means so much to us, and continue to look after each other. You guys know I love both of you already in the family. And then Fatima said, "Hi, you look so beautiful." Thank you, Fatima. No, it's not Fatima, it's Fatmata. Thank you, Fatmata. And then Fantasia said, "God did it." Indeed, God did it. And then Fantasia said as well, "God knew what you had to offer." That's to you, Esther. She said, "True. Just as I said, be ready. She's going to be here." She said, "Imagine that," to what we were talking about. She also said, "To make people understand before she get there." Yeah, exactly. I said, "Beautiful mindset." That is so true. And oh my God, Christiana said today she was on the other live stream. Well, thank you, Christiana. She said, "Adeya Bako." Thank you so much, Christiana. We said there. Thank you, darling. And Fantasia said, "Oh, Christiana, thanks for your support. Oh, that is so sweet." And Fantasia said she has a beautiful smile. I know that's why her nickname is Giggles. She's always smiling. And she said, "That's what people said you should help with reference." Yeah, referencing doesn't it is not easy, but she has all the resources on her website. She doesn't check the references because that's just too much. But the resources are on her website. You can find that all of that there and be able to help yourself. But Esther is also a mentor. Esther is always like me. She's ever ready to help people, guide people. So if you do have any issues, she's always more than happy to help. And please go and follow Esther Emends on all social media platforms. So on Instagram, she's got the YouTube page as well. She's going to be having more videos there, and tips and advice and resources. They're going to be there, not just the website. But when you go onto the website, you will see all the links to all the social media pages. So follow her on all those pages, and you will be updated with things that are going on. Any changes when it comes to like uni, college, anything like that, it will be on her social media pages. So thank you so much for that. And Kayode said, "Agreed. Everyone's race is different. Indeed, we all have to go according to our pace because it is not a race." Thank you. Fantasia said, "Wow." And going. And then somebody, Mary said, "Yes, it's Latin. That's your name." She's talking about, because you were talking about your name. And then guess who showed up, Esther? My mom. Oh my God. Esther was talking. She briefly mentioned about taking work to me. This is something Esther used to do all the time. Esther will literally use her lunch break to go and grab worksheets and work from all my teachers while I'm in hospital or at home because I'm sick and I cannot attend. She will grab all of it. She will use her lunch break to go run. She will literally be running to drop it at my house and run back. And sometimes by the time she gets back, lunch is over. That is what you call sister. That is what you call people that want to see you succeed. And this is why to this day we are sisters, because she has been there for me. We've been there for each other. And this is why once I realized what she wanted to do, I've been by her side as a coach to help her launch this brand because I know the impact that she had on me. She could have easily ignored and be like, you know what, let her deal with it. But Esther would take it upon herself to go to each and every one of my teachers when I'm not in school and I'm sick to get my work, and she would take it to my house and then go back to school. And most of the time, by the time she gets back, she has no time to even have her own lunch. So, can you imagine having somebody like that around you? And this is why 50 years down the line, we'll be telling this story. So, you better be ready for it. So, thank you, Mommy. Mommy said, hello, ladies. And my mom said, the incredible two superstars. Mom has seen us go through all of it. So, and then Fantasia said it's the same reach, yeah, just as we were talking about earlier. And this is Collins. Guess who Collins is? This is my nephew. My 11-year-old nephew should be in bed, but I guess it's Friday. So Collins said, keep up the great stream. Oh my God, thank you so much, my darling. I love you. Thank you. Thanks for supporting Auntie. And Fantasia said, wow. And then, Fantasia said, look at our queen, please. This is Fantasia, sunshine laughing. Please don't laugh. You have no reason to be laughing. And then said, he said, I'm telling you they are in bed now. Oh, that's my baby Jason and Giovanni. Auntie loves you. Thank you guys. And then Linda said, well done, baby girl. The future is bright. You are unstoppable. She truly is. Thank you, Linda. We appreciate you. Said, I will want her on my platform. Esther, there you go. Somebody else. And she's got a huge platform. So we will organize that. And that is that for today. Thank you, everyone. Esther, do you have any last words before we leave them? Because we've got kids to tend to.
Oh, well, the future is bright. That's all I can say. That's all I can say. The future is bright.
For each and every one of us. So, everybody, let's keep going, please. All right, keep going. Again, once again, let me just put that her website up. So, in case you've forgotten, the website is www.estheremends.co.uk. Once you're there, you'll be able to find all her social media links. They're connected to the website. Please go there. Let's start liking, following, and all that good stuff. Please, let's support our sister. And thank you to each and everyone that has showed up today for this. I truly appreciate you. You could have been anywhere, you could have been doing anything else, but you decided to come here to support Esther and what we're doing. Esther, I can't thank you enough for being on
You're
this platform.
welcome.
And I will continue to wave that flag, and let's keep recommending her services. Somebody that's struggling, they need somebody to help their proofreading. Recommend her services. The website is there. Somebody that just need the resources. They need to know about referencing, study skills, revision tips, all of that. Recommend the website to them. Go onto it. You can download all of those files. Keep them. Once you download them, they're yours. You can keep them, and use them and make you just use all of the resources to your advantage. And as time goes on, she will be adding even more. And Esther even has other plans, which we won't discuss now until once everything has come, everything comes together. I'll definitely bring Esther back to talk more about that. But for now, we want to thank each and every one of you. And Esther, thank you. Thank you so much for this. I truly appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Everybody, we're out of here. Have a blessed weekend. Have a blessed day, night, morning, whatever time it is to you. And we appreciate your time, truly. And whatever it is you can take out of this, take it and apply to your life, your own life, your own situation. You don't have to be a student. You can be at any stage. We're not students. And yet, every day I'm learning from Esther. Every day she's learning from me. We're supporting one another. So that is what makes the world go round. That is what has helped us get to where we are today, because we're there for one another. So let's all keep doing that for each and every one. Thank you guys and have a blessed night. Goodbye. Bye bye. Bye bye, everybody. I'll see you soon on another stream. Thank you and take care of yourselves. Goodbye.